Game 3. What a series between Team Secret and Fnatic. And we're gonna break the game down. I'm here with Grant, Lizard, and Kezu, but it would be more fun, and to be honest, it would be way more insightful to be able to break the game down together with one of the masterminds of Dota 2. Wow. So, Thomas, could you please play in Puppey?
Oh.
Yay!
Woo! Give him the clap.
The clap real loud. Hello, sir.
Hello. Hi.
First of all, congratulations. I have my first question is not about the series in particular, but this is the first LAN with the lineup that you currently have, with the actual full lineup, because you had Mid1 as a stand-in in Singapore. Now everybody's here, and it seems from an outside perspective to go really well. And I'm curious how it feels for you.
Tournament feels completely different than what we kind of like practiced the boot camp in. So for now, it's like the games were easier during the before time of the tournament, but now once you're in the playoffs, things are just kind of straight up pressure. A lot of the times you're kind of like not used to it. So after the first game when we played against them, we understood like, okay, I don't even care if we have a carry, honestly. It's just let's just pick some monkeys and Magnuses, have a lot of team fight, and just take them out. And in the last game, I had like complete superior team fight at least.
Yeah. No, I didn't say anything.
Oh, good.
Oh, no,
did you say anything?
That's one of them.
No, yeah, I mean, after that first game, I mean, Zai in his pregame interview said, this should be pretty easy. After that first game, were you a little worried, or you're just like, do what you said, just pick some dumb shit and run around with it?
We made a mistake anyway by picking Slark, or like leaving the IO thing, and we've already been punished for it once. But then we played a game, I think that wasn't official, tried some ideas out that we can maybe win the game regardless. So, I mean, the game looked good for us, but our heroes didn't really combine really well.
We're very worried because in the first game you lost to Wisp and Gyro, obviously, but in the last game you let it go through. And there's a running joke that you like to play versus OP heroes and counter them. Is it something you prepared for that, right?
I mean, I understood my mistake from the first game, but I wasn't ready to do it on the second game. I was like, okay, let's play a normal game first, and then go for the third one. And like, so when we're a little bit more confident, because I do think that if you do end up tending to play against the same strategies that you just lost to, it might not even be strategies that you lose to. So
it can tilt you, right?
Yeah, just the tilt part. It's just the tilt part that actually will make you play like 50% worse.
But what about in this last game? Did you ever feel like it was running out of control? Yodi had a lot to farm. He was getting
once they ran into my Chain Frost.
Yeah, what was that?
I thought
that was RP and Chain Frost. And, and it wasn't once, right? It happened a few times that they just go into the fog and get caught out.
That one was though a little bit too free. So. That just basically ended the game, I think.
Yeah.
Almost.
Can you please comment on YapzOr's item build as well? First item Orchid on Winter Wyvern on position 4.
I mean, I wanted an offlane Winter Wyvern in that game anyway.
Yeah.
So like, just he farms a lot anyway.
With YapzOr,
Maurice knows pretty well.
Yeah.
He's a
first-hand
He's
experience.
a scaler. Man likes to scale.
So I have one question. What do you think was the main difference between game 1 and 3? Both games had IO Gyro. Do you think it was the only difference in these games was your draft? That you were able to, mesh up against it better? Do you think you played different? Was it a superior team fight?
I think a little bit of both. Because we did realize that we were kind of passive in the first game. And but the weird thing though is that we had Slark as our carry, and this time we had Lifestealer.
Yeah.
So obviously Lifestealer can actually play a Lifestealer game, and Slark could not play a Slark game. He couldn't actually man-fight the Gyrocopter. Well, Lifestealer didn't care. Yeah. He could just run in and start right-clicking people. But at the same time, the shift should have been that Morphling was the one applying pressure, and we all followed a Morph. But instead, we started following the Slark constantly, trying to help him out, even though Morph could just win the game for us anyway. So it's just a playstyle base that was just shifted. Like Matsu had the hero that actually runs in, and it was more comfortable doing that, maybe because we play like that all the time, but because Nisha sometimes is playing a completely different hero, not a Morphling and stuff. But, it varies. So basically, we realized what we should have done.
Who would you give the MVP of your team? For the last game only.
For the last game? I think I would give it to Zai.
He would give it to Zai. I think Twitch chat, they've been loving Zai on the votes.
My man.
I don't know if it's because his name is 3 letters, but let's find out what the vote is this time round.
Oh.
Drum roll.
Niche?
Ooh,
Whoa, not even
Nisha. This is
close,
the
yo.
first time that Nisha wins the MVP vote. It's been Zai every time. Actually, was it Zai previous game?
It was
It was
Yapzor.
Yapzor. It was Yapzor. But Zai came close second.
Yes.
I mean, Nisha played well too.
He played really well.
But I felt like the safe lane should have went pretty bad for us, and it didn't. So for me, that's a big indicator on how like we can play the game afterwards, because we're getting smashed on the safe lane, and not really, but kinda, you know. So,
More than what you should be.
I mean, if Matsu would be lucky enough to proc with Javelin like at least twice when he's hitting 8 times.
It's just RNG, right? Nothing else.
Yeah,
It's-
like Matsu, come on,
Wake up.
step up your luck game, you know. Come on.
It was a fun series. I'm going to thank you for joining us to break the game down a little bit, and I'm going to ask you to take Lizard with you, and I'm going to add Lizard to take the chair with you.
Yeah, get him
So
out
you're
of
gonna
here.
lift me up, and I'm gonna lift up the chair.
Lift up the chair, Lizard.
Right now.
Come on, let's go.
Let's go.
All right, thank you.
Move me.
Right?
Let's do it.
I don't think you can do that, dude. Don't break your back.
Not that fat.
You're. I'm sorry, but you're a bit.
It's all
big.
muscle, man.
Let's lift the chair up.
Together. Yeah. Let's go.
Thank you,
Hey.
Thomas.
Yeah, get him out of here.
Thank you both.
What's that? Does he deserve that?
Nah, drop him off there.
He deserves it.
I'm used to having better players carrying me, so
Just your stuff.
it's very comfortable. Thanks, guys.
Enjoy.
All right.
Cheers.
Thank you,
Congrats,
guys.
Clement. Wow.
Welcome.
I guess the chair is back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we, I mean, yeah.
At least we got back one thing we wanted.
True.
Hey, let's focus on the next game, because the reason you're here is because we are now preparing for the upcoming matchup, which is El Clasico. However, it's El Clasico in a new era.
True.
Yep.
Full different roster on both sides. But you never really truly escape that El Clasico name, right?
Correct. I think it's also just one of those matchups that we love to see as Dota fans, because it's just been around like throughout history, right? TI3 final still has a special spot in most people's hearts. I think until TI8, it was like the undisputed best final.
Yeah. No,
Now
no.
there's at least a conversation about it, and when these two teams are doing well, it feels like Dota's doing well. And no surprise, we just had one of the hypest series,
Yes.
both last night to end the day, that secret game just to finish. This is how we do it.
This is how we do it. How many times, Grant, do you think that these two teams have faced each other as organizations?
Like how many games or matches?
I think it was games.
Just games. I'm gonna go with 302
Whoa, that's way too many.
minus 200.
Actually, I don't
it's
know
about
if-
187, Chiefs.
No,
I would have said 90.
it's 100. It's exactly 100.
What's the record?
What do you think? Who? Well, you don't have to say the numbers, but you can say who you think has won more.
Alliance, probably, because of that whole TI3 era when Lone Druid and Wisp were broken.
I have no idea.
It's 52 to 48 in
Wow.
favor of
Kinda
Alliance,
close.
but it's
Wow.
super
That's
close.
sick. That's super sick.
That's badass.
That's good parody.
Yeah.
Did I use that word right?
Thank you,
Parody?
Knoxville. for
No
that.
idea.
What?
Unless you meant parody,
No.
and it was like you're making a joke of us.
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Grant would never do that.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, we're about to hear a little bit more from Alliance. More specifically, we're about to hear from Limp.
In the game against Navi, we're gonna tour them. I have pretty good chances against Magical, I would say. Yeah, he's a good player, but I'll win. We don't really have any special strats. We're just gonna stay calm, play our game, and push our advantages and do our thing. Yeah, I think we're just gonna take each game as it is, and just take one game at a time and just keep playing. And so we'll see how it goes.
a little bit backtracking. He says, you know, we're going to 2-0 them, and it's like, yeah, one game at a time. We'll see how it goes.
And also a bit weird. I kind of agree.
That's I mean, I will say for a Swede, that's about as much trash as you're going to get them to talk. That's it's pretty typical too. It's like, you know, you start harsh, but then just kidding.
You back it up.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Americans are a little more direct. You know, we're going to shit on them.
You're bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
There you go.
But let's break this down, because coming into this tournament, I did not expect Na'Vi to be in the upper bracket, first of all.
No.
Alliance made it to the upper bracket, but they didn't look as good as some people were expecting them to look. What should our initial reads be on this matchup? I've heard people say that this is going to be the most even series that we've had all day, but I dare say Secret Fnatic was pretty damn even.
I agree. I would say I actually favor Na'Vi a bit. You just look at their group stage games and like I hate to say like the confidence of what they played, but like all the moves they made always were so calculated and they just looked a little bit better. Meanwhile, Alliance, I think they're still honestly struggling a little bit with their drafts. So I definitely favor Na'Vi a little bit coming in.
Yeah, I think to key in on that, I think the drafting is going to be critical. Both these teams are streaky in a sense. They play a lot better on comfort heroes than most others, and I think there's going to be a big emphasis on the laning phase, specifically mid. Magical's been absolutely dumpstering kids middle. Like, it hasn't even been close. Limp, arguably, I'd say one of the best 3 laners in Dota. His weakness as a player usually kicks in after 15 minutes, but in the lane, he's one of the best, and I think that matchup is the one to key in on.
Definitely, I agree. I mean, I always bring it up, but Sumail, the 2 players he said, Limp and Moon, every single time. Those are the 2 he always struggled against and loved playing because it's so competitive.
Well, let's find out from Limp's counterpart, Magical, right now.
Playing Alliance, and I think we're really confident, and we prepared for them. So I'm just really excited, and I want to play. We're not really scared. I think we played against them, Screams, I mean. So we know what they can do, so I just want to play. I feel really confident on me, on myself, on my teammates, and I really believe we can win the tournament.
Damn.
Now there's
I like that.
Hell yeah.
Not even the series, the tournament.
the tournament.
Hell yeah.
And there's 2 things that I want to talk about regarding this series, because you mentioned drafting is important. We've got Ilias, of course, in a position 5 that is new, but Zayach, who is not necessarily new, is or has taken on the captain's role. Fada, also not a new player, has taken on the captain's role. And then the main difference is Zayach has coach Mag, and Fata has said he doesn't want to coach yet.
Quite yet, yeah.
Yeah, he's not ready for it. And I know that, Keza, you've taken like a turn in your career at some point where you said, okay, I'll be the captain in some squads. What is the main difference? Like, how do you learn to be a captain?
I mean, I think the best way to learn it is you learn by doing it. You have the experience, you try to captain a team. It's a lot more responsibility than just being a player. You know, you have to prepare for the series, you have to make sure that your drafts are on point. Yeah. If people are making mistakes, you're going to be the one, you know, bring it up, start the discussion, make sure people understand what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, and then just learn by experience.
It's a lot harder once you give it a try, eh, KZ?
That's true.
You forgive certain mistakes maybe your captain makes once you give it a shot.
Yeah, you'll live the longer you go.
All right, guys. We'll calm down. We'll talk more about Na'Vi Alliance after this.
Rick Gaming Esports, professional esports housemaker.
Multiple witnesses have reported mysterious shadow sightings all around the city. According to experts, the origin of these shadows is
all miscommunication. So we're in the draft. So let's not show us. Let's show the game. We're in the draft. Kezu, Kyle, Grant, please talk to me about these openings.
Boom, boom, boom. IOOD. Feel like we just saw that opening weird. And then an Omni Knight who we haven't seen much of. I don't know. You, Kyle?
Yeah, I like the OD a lot. It's just save against the Slark, one of the best heroes against the Omni Knight. And also, you pick Disruptor into it as Alliance, but there's 3 heroes that can actually deal with this Yule's Ags combination on the Disruptor. Shadow Demon, Venge, OD. I like that they've got at least one of them already preemptively picked up. And now the Rubik to follow from Na'Vi, one of the better heroes against Omni as well. You've got great steals already. And yeah.
The Disruptor. Got through all the way, right? We've been seeing it mostly first band, even second band. That makes it all the way through. So you always got to be a little worried if you're Na'Vi, because you do have an IO Rubik as your support. Meanwhile, like team fight Disruptor Omni Knight's pretty good team fight. Not like this insane damage, but this sustain, this silence, this lockdown.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's that weird just when you look at the bans, right? It's just that as the tournament develops, certain heroes fall down in priority, others rise.
Yeah.
Enchantress, Lich, these heroes have been winning almost every game that I've seen them in. The Naga banned out. I think Alliance's bans are more team focused, right? Because Na'Vi were playing a Naga, I think, twice so far in the group stage. They won both. And it's just really annoying against their play style. I played with Limpet Hanskin for a while. It's just, it shuts down your aggression, right? And you, as Alliance, have like one fatal flaw, I'd say, which is that they occasionally kind of lose track of where their allies are. They find themselves as like 4 people in a choke point. Don't want to have that happen with Song available. They go for a Treant to synergize with the Disruptor. One of the better combos, provide vision, tons of AoE lockdown, makes sense.
They have a lot of backup now for Slark. Both with Omni, they have a lot of lockdown. They have great catch also. Slark's night vision with glimpse.
Is this really a good lifestealer pick in this scenario? Slark Omni traditionally have great matchups against them.
No, I don't think this is that great, to be honest. If you look at Disruptor like only, then perhaps, but against the other heroes, you shouldn't really enjoy playing lifestealer that much. Not in the lane or in the game per se.
And can we bring up something that happened last night in that super hype game? I think Fog brought it up. If Lifestealer has an Aghanims, he can rage and then jump into somebody who is in the Static Storm, and they can just run out, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
That's pretty cool.
Because when you invest in someone,
Yes.
that person instantly gets a rage.
The only thing I'm worried about, I actually like Na'Vi's draft a lot more. The thing is, Alliance, where's your damage? Who's doing damage here besides the Slark?
That's a good point. And to counteract that, on Na'Vi, you don't really have much damage either, nor any tower pressure, really. It's all single target as well, whereas...
I think right now both teams kind of rely on... They both have like one core that over time deals a lot of damage.
Yeah.
For Na'Vi, that's OD, and for Alliance, that's Slark. So they're both kind of looking for the same deal, at least without seeing their last picks right now. They're both looking for long fights where both Slark and OD get to steal a lot of their, you know, respective stats and then keep the fight going.
What are we lacking for last picks? What do we need from these teams? I think we need an offlaner for Nine Pasha on the side of Na'Vi. What boxes
Na'Vi right now
they
definitely need an offlaner. Kind of looking at the pool, because of course you're gonna lane against, you're most likely laning against Slark Disruptor, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if he plays Enigma. I think he is an Enigma player. I think this is a pretty good Enigma game.
Oh, dude, this would be a sick...
It's good against Slark, it's good against Omni.
Yeah,
totally fine in the lane.
Tree Root doesn't interrupt channeling anymore, it just roots. So right now, Na'Vi have actually, like, nothing. Well, neither team have anything to break a black hole. And it's actually great for both teams, looking at the drafts here.
Yeah.
One of the best heroes against Wisp, Lifestealer, Slark, and Omni.
Yeah. I think Na'Vi are more likely to pick it than Alliance, at least from my understanding of the two offlane players.
Well, and, I mean, who's going to go? You're going to have, like, a carry Omni Knight or something? I don't think there's really room for Alliance to have it.
I think we're looking for a Limp hero on the side of Alliance, right? A mid.
Sure.
Yeah.
So what does well against an OD?
I could see a Viper coming out.
Viper still?
I was thinking Viper earlier too. The only problem would be Rubik, but there's not much lockdown, to be honest, because of course when you steal the Nether Toxin, that's pretty good. But there's no lockdown to kind of keep the Viper in place. So
and I like the idea of Viper just because I want mixed damage core, and I want something that helps me synergize with like the AoE. I also think Nether Toxin, or really the stacking magic resist on the Q in combination with heroes like Disruptor is very strong. You just kill stuff in the kinetic.
Yeah.
Gives you the lacking damage you talked about.
Disables the feast when Lifestealer isn't raged, which is considerable considering it removes the attack speed as well.
That is true, yeah, with the new feast.
You effectively can only fight with rage, and we've already discussed Na'Vi have some significant damage issues at the moment.
I'm trying to, yeah. Viper's good. Who else? They obviously banned the TA, Limp's TA. Even if it's not a good TA game, they'll always play it. The Huskar goes away.
Yeah.
The cheese heroes. What else is there?
Limp has played Wind Ranger, Dragon Knight, Bat Rider, and Zeus mid.
What about, I feel like Magnus isn't banned, right? So Limp loves that hero.
It's a great mag game to that point. That's one of the better heroes against Lifesteal. There's just nothing you can do to deal with the RP. You do have the save double, actually. With
Exactly, that's the problem.
And this has been a last ban. Like, there it is. Good
Nice
call.
Kazu.
Very nice.
Got him.
And immediately silencer. There you go.
Oh,
You asked the best to have an answer. There you go.
Yes. Middle, please, it's middle silencer, right?
It's so good against OD.
It is
Hell yeah.
silencer.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's a really good last pick.
That is really cool. I mean, we'll see if it's a really good last pick. I believe in Core Silencer, and by that I mean I believe in it much like I do Ghosts, in that I don't. However, if there was a game for it, it's super good. You can cancel the reload, you deny OD, like the ability to deal any damage, cancel Black Hole, but it's a bit tough because if you use it in fights and Enigma can save the cooldown, you don't want to be in a scenario where you're saving ulti and so is Enigma, and then you just...
And no escape mechanism. You have to get a 4-step on that hero pretty much. Yeah. And if you die, I mean, Limp plays these heroes, right? If you die once or twice, your game falls off. That's Limp pretty much as a mid laner.
Yep.
What are we thinking this game is going to bring us?
I think it's going to be another good team fight game. I think like the last series, you look at the heroes, both teams want a team fight. Maybe Na'Vi will farm a little bit more, but we'll see.
I think it's going to come down to the support duos. Rubik Wisp on one side, Disruptor Tree on the other. It's difficult for both sides to make plays, but both teams can be very reactive. I think Navi's got to be careful about getting caught out on the map. Okay. Disruptor has been highest win rate in the tournament. Okay. I would expect to see it continue.
Well, let's find out what's going to happen. We'll let you talk after the game again, Kazu, but let's not, for now, go to our commentary duo of ODPixel and Fogged.
Must be so strong. When it feels like this, must be wrong. When it feels like this, on and on. When it feels like this, must be so strong. Must be wrong when it feels like this. Oh, just starting off when it feels like this. Must be so strong. When it feels like this. Oh, it must be wrong when it feels like on and on and on. When it feels like this. Must be so strong.
Ladies and gentlemen, Na'Vi versus Alliance here in the upper bracket of the Major in 2020. It's an exciting sight to see, Fogged, always getting these two organizations having a good old clash in this best of three. And some obviously exciting picks to end the draft with Na'Vi coming in with that Pasha Enigma and no hesitation. Alliance say it's time to bring out the Limp Silencer.
It's so cool too, the Silencer pick. It seemed like it was almost, they were going to pick it even if the Enigma wasn't picked, or maybe they knew that this Enigma might be coming, right? Just good versus the OD, and it's a style that Alliance does like to play. It's a risky one though, right? It's a hero that, like the panel said, you might just die, and you're very squishy and susceptible to those type of things because you're going to be in the front lines a lot as a Silencer dealing the damage, so can be a bit difficult. And I like this already by Alliance. I was going to mention that I feel like they should do this. A lot of times when you see an Enigma, you want to try to take advantage of it early. Sure, it's an offlane Enigma, but put pressure on, at least do like some type of tri-lane or something clever with your supports to make Na'Vi be more on the back foot. And we see Na'Vi is reading that, and they're kind of like swapping the lanes away. So Crystallized is going to be making his way toward bottom, and Pasha is going to run all the way toward top as the Enigma.
Is that going to be something you think Alliance are going to switch around quickly after seeing this move? Or will they just let it be?
No, they're going to be able to get Slark free farm. Right?
So they're fine either way.
I think this is exactly what they want to do. I'm curious about this. I feel like this is a great matchup for Limp. He should be able to do really well in this one versus the OD.
I mean, because what's the reasoning for this? Because obviously OD is still going to have this ability to use the Astral to secure CS, but it's just the fact that the Silencer can just hit hard and at good range.
Yeah, it's these like ranged heroes that can actually like trade with OD, and OD can't walk up and use the Astral to its maximum benefit is always useful. And Silencer is kind of OD what he used to be, right? You hit them and you gain intelligence, and it gets quite strong in the later stages. If there's any opportunities where he does start getting ignored, that hero deals so much damage in team fights. Once you start building up a couple int stacks, it really does feel quite absurd.
And do you think they've got a good team around that Silencer to make sure that the team fights are done in a way where Limp is going to be allowed to have that distance between him and the enemies?
The Slark causes chaos in the front lines, right? Disruptor should be able to get them some decent catches because they can glimpse and then they can pull a silence, and then Na'Vi can't fight in some of those situations depending on where the Enigma is. It looks like it should be okay, but we'll see how it all plays out because it's a risky hero because you just can get caught. Like, there's a raged Lifestealer that could end up just start running at you, and what are you supposed to do as a Silencer? You're going to need your Hurricane Pike, you're going to need some different ways to bail you out, but they do have that as well with 33, right? Heavenly Grace might be one of those X factors as well. But it should be fun. I haven't gotten to see, actually, the Silencer versus OD matchup in an official. I've seen it in some pub games, but...
Oh, Limp. On sides. Of course, just level 1 still, so it's just a Fate Bolt he can offer, but that should potentially be enough. He pops the Fairy Fire
5 health.
Limp, and that'll keep him alive. He gets himself away, and in fact, Magical. He nearly ends up falling himself. The Thunderstrike won't quite do it. Both Limp and Magical being pushed to their limits there, as both teams get a bit of backup from their support. Zayats and Hanskin now hovering around the mid lane to make sure their mid does not fall. Obviously, Limp having that edge of having the Treant on his side, getting a bit of a instant heal from the Living Armor globally to allow him to stay strong in the lane. Something that Magical's going to have to be a bit more careful about, because that Salve just got taken off by the curse.
It sure did. He's down low as well now because of that one. So that harassment, we see 8 denies already on the Silencer. Lots of denies already in this game, actually, in particular, because we do have a lot of heroes just kind of solo farming versus each other. Slark is going to be full free farming top, as we stated, and Lifestealer is going to be full free farming bottom.
Top. Nico, baby, has found the pounce opportunity onto Zayats. Zayats
he's
has got
dead.
the TP, but they have far more than enough damage with that Thunderstrike to help out.
His TP is cooldown now. That was a incredibly ambitious...
On this mid lane, Magical.
Whoa, careful.
Nearly going down. He's only down to that last tango. So Limp well and truly bullying him out of the lane. And this is what you said, right? He's absolutely showing it here, Limp, how strong the Silencer can be against this OD.
And there was even a rotation from the Rubik, right? So it's pretty fun. I look at these two drafts too, and whenever I see drafts that don't really have any good natural building damage, like who's the best building hitter in this game? It's like the Enigma, right? And I guess Slark when he builds up stacks, but that's like a weird one. We should just have a lot of fighting in this game, which is what I think everybody likes to see lately. And if last series was anything to prove of that one, this should be a pretty exciting one too.
Yeah, Limp's playing it really smart as well. Every time he knows the OD is going to come forward and go for that Astral, he's getting down the curse beforehand. So that extra duration is there on Magical, ticking him down.
Yep.
Making it very, very hard for the OD to lane against.
This is looking just like an incredible start for Alliance with the way they set up their lanes. Making Pasha run across the whole map and then go top. Pasha's getting nothing top. He's 2 and 9, but that's just his Eidolon denies that he's been getting, but he's not getting much really out of that top lane at all, while Slark is full free farming. The Lifestealer is still getting that full farm for Na'Vi, but you have to feel a little bit happier if you're on the side of Alliance at the moment.
I mean, what's their best sort of move against this Na'Vi? Is there any sort of play they can make? Obviously, we saw them try to do something around the mid lane. Is there another lane where we can expect to see Zayats trying to make a play happen?
Not really. Their heroes kind of are not the best for ganking, right? I see Io Rubik. Rubik is... he's kind of mediocre unless you have like these great damage dealers. I look at Na'Vi's lineup, their damage is really mediocre in the laning phase. It takes a long time. They need a lot of items really to build up their damage and their levels pretty much. Okay. We see that all the time.
Yeah, takes Current. Alliance also, getting the majority of bounty runes. 3 for the 1 that Na'Vi will claim down bottom.
Limp is owning. 28-13 to 14.
It's getting
worse and worse. They need to do something to fix this. What's it going to be though, Magical?
Got him.
Thank God. I mean, level 5 at least here, but that's a level 6 Hunter.
He's going to die for this because now he doesn't have Astral.
He is looking very dead, and that's some intelligence for a Silencer. Are you a +2 or -2 in this game? I feel like this one's a -2 game because he's versus an OD. So that hurts even more.
Yeah, hurts
That's
your
the
mana.
most important thing about him.
Knocks down that max mana, and obviously off the back of that knocks down your damage output as the OD. But yeah, Lim absolutely rocking it in the middle lane. Ilias, he's got to
careful.
You got to respect the silencer. It's a good job Magical is there back to help him out with the Astral, making sure that Lim cannot chase for more.
He just turns?
Yeah, just turns and starts hitting into Magical, pushing him away, and the two of them have to back off. Salves pop to heal them up.
I'm so excited already now. A silencer, he's getting a great start. We're off to a good one, at least to see a silencer be able to actually deal a ton of damage in fights.
There we go. See if the two of them could do it here. Just getting a bit of harass. The kinetic field doesn't quite catch onto Ilias, but still just constantly forcing Magical away from the wave and making it very hard for the OD to get a look in at the farm at the start of this game. 19 for 2 on Magical compared to that 35 for 16.
And the supports are moving a lot on Alliance now too, so it's giving it the Slark up top at full level, full experience, level 6 already. Slark.
They're gonna get aggressive.
Yeah, they just want to keep making moves because they're versus an Enigma who's jungling.
And Na'Vi's got to send over heroes to help out. Magical is going to fall. Crystallize goes towards Limp, but Limp, he just goes straight for the TP. And they do come in time with the Malefice.
They brought 5.
They catch out, cancel the TP, and they will get Limp. An absolutely necessary kill to have, but as you say, does cost them all of their resources. They're having to pull all the attention away from the side lanes to make that play happen.
It's like a desperate move kind of in a way, right? Because now that opens up the lanes completely now to the Omni Knight, Nico Baby, who was already getting in, like full free farm. I think Alliance is like, that was good, whatever. We forced everybody mid, now they have to all like back away and actually find their best way to farm because now they're all TPs are gonna be cooldown. Yeah, you're fine with that if you're Alliance.
Yeah, definitely one of those kills that it feels like, yeah, we got him, but it feels bad. And in retrospect, maybe it's better to just let the OD die there.
Yeah, and he got the kill before he did die, right? So he got the int. So that's, he's even more happy about that. So 4 int already built up and minus 4 int on the OD already. So these little things will hurt. Well, I'll try to get, I wish it actually kept like a tracker of how much some people int lost, right? Because it's actually sometimes can get hard. Now that we see a core silencer in the game, I'll try to be sure, at least in particular, to keep track of the OD one, because that one is going to be like the most impactful if he does kill him a lot of times. But Pasha.
Yeah, see if they can get maybe a jump on him there. Nico Baby's strong with a level 7. This tier 1 tower already at 8 minutes in, taken away from Na'Vi.
3k gold lead already. And not even just that, it's experience also in favor of Alliance by a decent matter because the Enigma, he was jungling, which usually you think like, oh, they're going to get a decent more XP out of it. No, but he was like level 3 at the 6.5 minute mark on that Enigma. And you see he's bottom 3 net worth as well, Pasha. He has now hit level 5, but as we see, that lane's positioning from Alliance just super beneficial from the start.
Yeah, they need so much time and space really to get this Enigma and OD into the game. It never feels great at 9 minutes in having 2 of your cores behind the position 4 of the enemy side.
Yeah.
Not a dream start at all for Na'Vi, but as for Alliance, they came here with a plan and a very confident one. We saw it with how quickly they snap-picked that 5th pick silencer.
Yeah.
And so far it's looking like the planning's paid off. Alliance has this significant lead, and Na'Vi, it all rests on Crystallize to sort of get them through this rough start, as he is the only one with any sort of semblance of farm on their side.
Alliance might start getting the ball rolling really quickly in this game. This Diffusal Blade for Slark is going to be finished pretty soon already, so he's going to just be able to look to make these aggressive plays, and this is a game where they have the scaling. This Slark, you gain Agi. Silencer, you gain Int. You have the potential to grow quite strong in this game versus the side of Na'Vi, who also does scale very well, but there are these counters, right? Like I mentioned, the Global Silence versus that Enigma is a little bit different in this game because you're a frontline kind of silencer, but either way, it still should prove to be quite strong. Yeah, he's going to have this Diffusal, though, any minute now. Within the next, like, 2-3 minutes, we'll look to see him get extremely aggressive along the map.
Yeah, of course, far before there's any sort of safety defensive items being built up on the supports of Na'Vi.
Yeah.
It's just going to mean that any time they're out of position, Nico Baby will be able to clean them up solo.
The Enigma pick in this game was really clever, though. Well, it was really nice. So I think like Kezu was the one talking about it, especially too, is versus Omni Knight, it's always been a traditional one, but also versus the Slark, it's really, really strong. You're not able to just dark pack that off ever or anything like that, but you always have to factor in that global there are also several different ways that Alliance does have to cancel it. Yeah, off to a fantastic start, and they're continuing their lead up to that 4K. And like we said, Na'Vi, their heroes don't make moves. It's hard for them to really make moves. They had to run 5 heroes to try to just solve the issue of what was happening in the mid lane.
Their only real way of starting fights is a telekinesis or obviously Pasha turning up on the Enigma. And at the moment, Pasha does not want to get involved. So for sure, there's no real way that Na'Vi can do anything. All they can do is just try and hope the pressure doesn't step up too quickly from Alliance. So they get this time to get like this first sort of team fight item on Pasha. So they're able to sort of go head to head with Alliance in a 5v5.
Nice denies there by Pasha on that the nuke from the Disruptor. Yeah, it's just very tough for them to make the aggressive moves. Because even like sometimes it's like, oh, the Enigma's farming really well. It's like, oh man, he might actually get a position to black hole us, but there's a global, so he doesn't. Silencer just can protect the side lanes really easily in that manner. So we see that Maelstrom picked up for the Lifestealer that's been popularized quite heavily, also versus Omni Knight, just super beneficial. He should be off to a good pace to farm. See him going the Halberd build. Great versus that Silencer, of course. Also good versus Slark, but more so versus the Silencer.
Maybe, Crystallize, he is the hero to look upon when it comes to countering the Silencer, getting on top of him with the Rage, being able to just step in and start to bite away.
But there is protection, right? They have the Omni Knight to protect the Silencer. They have Root in order to hold the Lifestealer away from the Silencer as well. They do have a lot of different things to protect. And now Diffusal's online. It's time for Alliance to make these aggressive moves.
They're just going to pop the Global, go straight away on top of Magical. TP's out coming in. They'll slow him down with the Nature's Grasp. The silence does end, so Magical can go for the defensive Astral. But the Static Storm from Anskin is waiting for him. Pasha does manage to lay down the 2-man Black Hole, but the GA is out. Alliance is still good to continue to fight up. The Overgrowth catches the IO. Crystallize has tried to turn up to help out, but Nico Baby still got the Shadow Dance, commits onto Pasha. Zayats falls out to the Thunderstrike. It's a dieback from the Zayats Rubik. Only Crystallize lives. Alliance do lose Farta, but everyone else survives. It's an absolute mess of a fight for Na'Vi as they try and respond to Alliance's aggression underneath Na'Vi's own tier 2, but they just can't deal with the power that Alliance has built up off the back of this early game.
And how much, so Nico Baby got how much Agi, I think, off the fight? Like 2 Agi points, and they got us, like, I think 4 or 6 intelligence points as well, so the scaling continues. And we see that, of course, getting stopped there. The relocate wasn't able there to protect, but just such a good way to take the fight, even with the GA. They don't have the damage to go through. As we said, Alliance, they are in a much stronger position at this point in the game. And even with the heals coming out, yeah, this is a fantastic start, and it's looking a little tough for Na'Vi.
A very, very clean opening to this game from Alliance.
Yeah.
Dire's middle tower.
Their timings have just been perfect. The lane setup and that knowledge that they have the power to fight so aggressively like that, as you saw. Only now the tier 1 going down in the mid lane. They've just dove straight past the tier 2s because they knew that they could.
Yep. And they
only losing 1 and Farta going down, that doesn't matter. You're losing a 5, but you're taking everything away from Na'Vi.
And they used the aggressive global that time, right? So maybe that's where Navi's like, oh, we might be able to get a position of Black Hole, but they don't have the items to do that just yet. They don't have the damage to follow up if all of Alliance are there. So it was a very nice, aggressive global. And because, when you use global and the other team uses Black Hole, they're both going to come back up at the same time now. Pretty much. Cooldown is quite similar.
Crystallize. Trying to finish this tower off. Trying to make sure they don't get the deny. The global silence is going to be out. Nico Baby TP's in to take him down. They'll let him have the tower. They'll take his life for it. More Agi built up for Nico Baby as now level 12 on the Slark. His movements continue to be crisp.
Alliance is playing this perfectly right now. Look how farmed he is. He's gonna have an Aghanims in no time to get on top of that Io, that Rubik. Those heroes getting jumped as an Io and a Rubik when you have absolutely no items, no defensive aspect at all. You have an Astral from your teammate, I guess, like that, but you're just gonna die so fast to this Slark. Especially if he's going to be Heavenly Graced probably too. How are you going to deal with these guys getting into the backlines and causing that pressure? And then Limp is just going to be like, okay, now I have free reign to just beat people with my glaives.
Yeah, it's some of the ways that these lanes have gone. I feel like...
Oh my god, he got a Grove Bow. Sorry, Alliance got a Grove Bow.
I'll give that to the Silencer, right?
That is a dream pickup.
Extra bit of range. If he's able to hold on to that on top of the the Hurricane Pike when he has it done. Limp is going to be hitting them from a mile off.
Look at that.
There we have it.
And let's bring up those beautiful talents for a second too, when we're going to be able to see. Yeah, so it's going to take some time, but maybe he goes for the intelligence steal in this game. I have seen some people do it when you are core. And
he's rolling over them. I mean, 120 gold per minute. There's not going to be many minutes left of the game if the Lions keep playing like this.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing it, executing super well, and they're staying aggressive as well. Global is back up online too. So they used it in an aggressive manner and weren't punished for it at all. Na'Vi not able to take advantage at all of that is very concerning. He's gonna have an Ags any minute now. Sub 20 minutes Diffusal Ags. Uh-oh.
Still, you know, considering sort of the chaos that's going down here this game, Crystallize is holding his farm pretty solid. You know, sure, there's still 2K between him and Nico Baby, but considering how the rest of his team is faring, he's still being able to find the space on the lifesteal. It's just a question of what this hero is going to be able to do. Sure, once he has the halberd done, it's going to be a bit of a nuisance. It's going to slow down the damage output from either Limp or Nico Baby in the fights. But we're just sort of the Maelstrom alone as his only aggressive item. It's just not going to be enough. You know, you need to have at least the OD having that item, having that Aghanims, so they have some sort of significant damage output to offer in these fights. Because at the moment, Crystallize, it's just not going to cut it on his own. He cannot carry the team in this state.
No, definitely not. Especially not versus the hero. He's versus some heroes that are just good versus him. There's a Guardian Angel. Like, he's got Maelstrom, but Guardian Angel's still going to be super annoying. So will the Overgrowth, as well as the silencers that can come out from both that silencer as well as Disruptor. And we did see Na'Vi. They actually got themselves a Grove Bow as well in return, so Magical will be happy about that one. But on the opposite side, Alliance got a Philosopher's Stone for the Disruptor. So Disruptor getting that extra GPM this early on also is incredibly nice for that side of Alliance. I feel like they might be able to ramp up a little bit more soon here too on that side of Alliance. And Na'Vi, I don't see good ways for them to be able to respond at least. They're going to have all their heroes set up. They're going to have the number advantage.
See what they could do here. Nico Baby is looking for Ilias on the back lines. He's found the IO, jumps straight in, committing onto him. Ilias, has he got any escape? It doesn't look like it'll pop the stick charges, but Nico Baby can easily stay on top of his target, take him out. Crystallize was able to go for the Rage TP to get himself away from the action, so Ilias at least able to draw attention away from that. But it's another kill for the Slark. Nico Baby, level 15, his just power continuing to grow at a rate that is very hard for Na'Vi's cores to keep up with. This Slark has just had too good of a beginning to this game.
It's just too passive of a draft, it feels like, from Na'Vi. Like the aggressive moves they can make is just nothing. And now top the Global. There's a relocate coming out to try to save the Lifestealer perhaps, but now with that Global, the Glimpse back, Crystallize, he's just dead. And another set of Int. And there it is, he does take the +2.
I mean, yeah, so absolutely in this sort of game.
And now IO will be able to jump away. Nico Baby, though, he's on him with that pounce.
It's getting rough.
It's been rough.
It has been. It has been. I mean, I'm sort of going back. Was it expected, considering the drafts, that Na'Vi would have this tough of a time, or have Alliance sort of outperformed in one of the lanes to get it sort of looking this severe?
I love the way that they set up their lanes, but IO, Rubik, and Enigma feels like it just feels like it can be a bit too greedy when you're playing versus a lineup that can actually look to make moves. Like the Disruptor and Tree, sure, they can be a little bit of static heroes at times, but they can make moves better than the side of Na'Vi can for the first 10-15 minutes, like easily. It's very limited for what Na'Vi really can do with the heroes that they kind of allocated themselves. And also, they just got straight counterpicked in the mid lane. That silencer just ruined the OD's matchup. Well, maybe they wanted Magical to be that hero to go around and make space so that they could get the farm on these heroes, but because he got nothing, that might just have ruined their whole game plan.
Yeah, I feel Alliance is just showing us that you cannot pick OD against this team if Silencer's in the pool. You know, the fact that they relied on that matchup being as good as they knew it was in a game where there were heroes like Lifesteal, you know, traditionally cores, carries, that you wouldn't want to play a core silencer against. You know, Limp says, it doesn't matter. I'm going to be able to beat down on the mid OD so hard that they're not going to get the time to play the rest of their game. And it's absolutely been evident here. Yeah. I don't think you can do it after this game. They've showcased how strong Limp's silencer is.
Yep, they literally snap picked it, but even the Enigma was picked. And maybe they knew the Enigma was coming, like we were mentioning, but they picked it so fast. Like they already were 100% decided on that hero. And look at this, jumping forward.
And Astral does stop him for now. See if he wants to commit the second.
He's still
pounce.
pinging him.
He's going to go for it, and he's got the reach. He's in onto Zayas. They do lose Hansken, as Crystallize was able to find Hansken isolated. So a kill for Crystallize.
+4. And these kills just become more valuable.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Limpsyn just growing at an incredible rate this game.
Oh, I didn't point that out. Fada also did get the GG branch on Stream Protector, which is also another super nice one to have. As he can always just invis himself nicely, Pasha.
They were hunting Nico Baby, seeing if he was able to latch the pounce, but as it were, Pasha's out of there.
Level 17 Slark. These cores on the side of Alliance, I mean, 16, 14, 17.
What's the closest we've got on Na'Vi?
Ooh, yeah. I mean, he's level 16 on Lifestealer, but 16, 14, 12, 12, 11. But when you're Enigma, you know, Pasha is one of those level 12 heroes. He's kind of tied with the supports. That's not feeling so great.
What's Pasha got at the moment? It's just there. He's got the mech done, right?
I believe that was it, yeah.
He's got the other couple of... Okay, just the one.
He wants to get the Greaves, right? Like, he wants to go for the Greaves, and
sure,
then
he does need
the silence, but...
And Na'Vi just doing their best to try and avoid these sweeps of the jungle that Alliance is doing.
Yeah, they have to stall, right? That's the one thing for Na'Vi, they have to stall, but is stalling even going to be able to help you so much in this game because of how much Alliance has pressed forward? And they're getting really big items, like Hansken. We mentioned, he has Philosopher's Stone. He's going to have an early Ags in this game. He's already got the one component finished up on that Disruptor.
Crystallize completing me on it.
Pasha.
Going for another fire. Pasha. Gonna need some help here. We'll put the mech. Does get forced down to the low ground. Pasha will live.
But you see the way that Na'Vi's playing, right? Like, everything is just get away. You can't ever look to, like, take a fight. Sure, they're into an Aegis and all that right now, but that's the way that they have to play right now versus the side of Alliance. Taking a heads-up fight it's not gonna go well.
Crystallize, Rages does not have TP. It's still on cooldown for 20 seconds. He's trying to juke this. The Global Silence comes in. Ilias does get the tether off. They'll get the courier kill. That does knock the pipe out of the game, but in return, Alliance is going to look to knock some of their heroes out. As Ilias is gone, the Silence procs on Crystallize getting bashed up. The rest of Alliance getting in there. Pasha is around, and he does have the black hole if required. But Nico Baby commits with the Shadow Dance. Defensive Astral use, but now Nico Baby just goes to the backlines. The Static Storm is going to trap the Rubik. They're going to turn back towards him. Pasha's trying to back away. Another Astral will hold back Nico Baby, but they've lost Syats. Crystallize is thrown into the air. Nico Baby and Fado just diving the tier 2s, killing off Magical. Crystallize goes for the Rage TP. Again, the only one to survive as everyone else on Na'Vi ends up dying. 18-3, 9K lead. Alliance just continuing to steamroll this game one.
Yeah, this is pretty much out of hand, it feels like, actually. I don't see how they can look to take any fight. I don't even think they have the damage if they do get the black hole in these situations because they're just so strong and tanky, and they're not going to catch everybody all together. I saw this silencer I saw his last word, actually, when it procced. I think it hit the Enigma for like 500 damage or something like that. But these globals, so clutch by them.
It just means that Ilias can never get the relocate save off.
Yeah.
Every time, putting a stop to it, so they're trapped and Na'Vi's forced to have to come and fight here.
Look at those glaives. He gets the last word proc as well on the Lifestealer, does another like 400 damage too, and just... Nico Baby has no fear at all in the world. He just is jumping into the back lines. And then, yeah, we see Pasha. He steps up. He gets hit by 3 or 4 glaives. Last word procs, he's pretty much dead. These fights are just impossible.
So much imp being racked up by Limp.
And agility.
Right? I wonder what other... I mean, because this is the thing as well. This mid-silencer is done so well this game against the OD. It's not like it's only good against the OD, right? Like, Limp could play mid-silencer against a lot of the other meta heroes at the moment that are played in the mid lane, and I think he could dump them just as hard.
It could be a hero maybe untapped potential, right? This hero, I don't think many people have been playing with it at all, but I've seen this hero in some pubs, and it does deal insane amount of damage. Like, even if you know, once you get forgotten in like 1 or 2 fights in the backlines, and you build up like 30 or 40 int while you're hitting people, and everybody's like, oh my god, this silencer actually just may have carried the fight or something like that. And yeah, Alliance is just steamrolling.
Global Silence giving Nico Baby the coverage. He does get disarmed by Crystallize's halberd. Crystallize will be able to TP away, but of course Ilias is left behind. Godlike now on the Slark. As it just continues to be a match where, you know, you see Ilias and Crystallize trying to get out on the map, find somewhere safe for Crystallize to farm, but every single time, Alliance, they're finding them.
Yeah.
And they're pushing them straight back to the base.
I don't know what you can do really as Na'Vi. It's so damn difficult. I'm waiting to see maybe with Pasha something like, but it's like, even like what can he actually itemize in order to deal with all this? He needs too many things because like the silencer always messes up your entire game plan as an Enigma. He's got a Force Staff to try to protect himself and all that, but yeah, Alliance has just gotten way too much.
Yeah, we're going to have to see some big black hole plays this game from Pasha, and I mean big. It's got to be like a 5-man. You got to be catching everyone. Well, you've at least got to try and play around that global silence, something that is not easy to do, because you know that every time Limp's holding on to that. As sort of the mid laner, he doesn't need the global to fight with. He'll save it every time. For that black hole is here. On their side of the map, again, Alliance, they'll find Crystallize. He's popped the Rage. Doesn't go immediately for the TP out because he knows he cannot. Fudder has the root. And Crystallize is gone. Their one sort of hero that was able to actually find some farm this game. He is still very much up there, holding on close towards Nico Baby. But that gap's going to get bigger. Spot him. They've got the Static Storm.
Limp's here, though.
They're coming in, and Limp can turn. He's going to start hitting onto the two of them. Hexed up. The Odie's in trouble. They'll turn towards Ilias. Ilias is dead and gone, as they'll get the Odie as well. Dragged back by the Glimpse.
I think as soon as you get hexed, I think you might be like, I think we call it. I just got hexed at 27 minutes. Silencer has a sheep stick already.
I mean,
this one's over.
It is. It absolutely is. And I mean, what a brilliant showing from Alliance. As I said, you saw it in the draft. They instantly snap-picked the Silencer. They'd done their homework. They were prepared. They knew exactly what they wanted to run against Na'Vi. And this lineup it's just been immaculate.
Yeah, look at the end. 42 in. How much Agi was it? 14, 15 Agi also stolen. Something like that. 15 Agi also. Well, not stolen, sorry. Agi gained as well. Absurd game by Alliance, 25-3. Pretty much zero mistakes in the game at all. Fantastic lane setups, great draft. Everything looked good for them this time around. And Na'Vi, maybe back to the drawing board a little bit with this one, and maybe a little bit more clever with the way they set up their lanes at the start, or something along those lines. But they're definitely going to have to.
I mean, I think, as you said, the draft's got to change. You said like the Rubik, Io, Enigma. I think more specifically, Rubik and Io, like that. If you start losing the lanes, you're sort of stuck in those lanes, right? You can't make moves, you can't make plays.
Shrine has fallen.
And you don't have an offlaner that can make plays either.
No.
Like, Enigma is not a hero really that makes those plays early on. He has to get his farm and just wait as magical. He did use both of his Astrals there. Five-man root.
It's a 5-man ult straight away into the global. The Static catches the two of the Nico Baby slides in. Ilias will fall. So will Zayas. The two supports gone. Nico Baby is in, bashing up the Odie. They're going to tap out. They've had enough with the pain, Na'Vi, as GG is called. And Alliance, they don't just take game one. They wipe the floor with Na'Vi in game one. It just seemed too easy for them.
I mean, that was an absolute beatdown. That was precision. It was perfection, right? Alliance played it perfect. Na'Vi, they had no shot in this game at all. After those first 5-6 minutes, it really felt like they had no control in the game at all. Even though it was like a 1K or whatever game lead, you could just feel it. The way that Alliance was setting up, the way that they were rotating around the map, and just, yeah, that mid matchup, Limp.
I mean, Limp, he smashed it.
Yeah,
he really did. And as I say, you know, he has just sent a message to every team out in this event, still saying, do not pick OD if Silence is in the pool. I'll pick it and I will absolutely destroy you. And you know, we have been seeing a lot of ODs. It's sort of been this hero that's coming into favor, especially with heroes like Disruptor being popular, OD being a hero that can sort of have that counterplay, that save. You can't do that against this team. Limp just destroyed him.
Yeah, I mean, they opened with the OD. They seemed like they got a draft that they kind of wanted, but Alliance was well prepared.
Well, we've got to see if Na'Vi's got a different strat up their sleeve, because that one Alliance were more than prepared for. Game one going to Alliance.